The rain that evening fell in sheets, blurring headlights and smearing hope. Claire Parker hunched under a broken umbrella outside the diner where she waitressed double shifts, her phone screen cracked and flickering as she typed through her tears. "Mr. Evans, please. I can't afford the twins' medicine this month. Could you just give me a few more days to pay the rent? Please." She pressed send and stood there, biting her lip, knowing full well her landlord wouldn't care. He hadn't the last 3 times she'd begged. But she didn't notice the number she'd dialed was off by a single digit. 2 hours later, as Claire tried to rock one baby in her arms while bottle-feeding the other, her phone buzzed with a reply. "This is Alexander Evans. The billionaire. You texted me. We need to talk about these twins. Where are you?" She froze, blinking at the message. Some cruel joke. But as her fingers hovered, another text appeared. "I've sent a car. It'll be there in 10 minutes. Claire laughed bitterly. Sure. Until a sleek black limo pulled up outside her crumbling apartment. A uniformed driver stepped out, respectfully bowed his head, and said simply, "Miss Parker? Mr. Evans is waiting. Please come with the children." Her first instinct was to say no. But then the twins started coughing again, their little chests rattling like empty tin cans, and she found herself climbing into the warm leather seat, clutching them both to her chest. The limo carried them into the glittering heart of Manhattan, stopping in front of a tower Claire had only ever seen on TV. A man in his late 30s stood in the lobby, tall, with sharp blue eyes softened by something she didn't expect, kindness. "Miss Parker," he said, extending a hand. "You have no idea what you've just done. But, thank you for doing it." Her cheeks burned. "I think you have the wrong person. I was just texting my landlord." "No," he interrupted, gently but firmly. "I think fate dialed the right number." He led her into his office and gestured toward a couch where she laid the twins, now asleep. He crouched down to look at them, something like awe lighting up his face. "You named them?" he asked. "Liam and Lily," Claire whispered, still confused, still ready to bolt. He sat back, running a hand over his face. Then, in a shaky voice, he said, "I lost my wife 3 years ago. We've been trying for twins through IVF. She passed before they were born. I thought they were gone too. But now, here they are. My kids." Claire blinked at him. What? What are you saying?" "I'm saying," he said, looking straight into her eyes, "that you adopted them. Right?" The air left her lungs. She nodded. Yes, she'd been fostering them since birth, when no family had claimed them. The birth certificate had only the mother's name, and no father listed. He pulled out a document. His late wife's name was there, plain as day. Claire sat back, dizzy. And then, without hesitation, she said, "They're your children. I didn't want them to end up in the system." Her voice cracked. "I just wanted them to be loved." There was silence in the room. Then Alexander stood, walked over to her, and took her hands in his. "You are the most remarkable woman I've ever met," he murmured. "You saved them. You raised them. And you didn't even know who they were." Tears pricked Claire's eyes. He smiled faintly through his own. "You didn't just save them. You saved me." That night, he didn't send her back to her apartment. He offered her and the twins a suite in his tower, promising to handle everything, the medical bills, the future, the home they deserved. But Claire shook her head at first. "I'm not looking for charity," she said, voice trembling but firm. Alexander knelt in front of her, his eyes earnest. "No," he said softly. "This isn't charity. This is family." It was the word she'd secretly longed for all her life. Months later, a photo went viral, a single mom in a pale pink dress, walking into a park hand in hand with a billionaire, 2 giggling toddlers in their arms. The caption simply read, Sometimes the wrong number is exactly the call you've been waiting for. And on a quiet bench nearby, Alexander whispered to her, "You taught me something tonight, Claire." "What's that?" she asked. "That kindness doesn't need wealth," he said, kissing her temple. "But wealth sure needs kindness." She smiled, watching their twins chase fireflies under a starry sky. For the first time in years, she felt like she belonged. No act of kindness is ever wasted. You never know when your selflessness may light the way for someone else, and in turn, transform your own life forever.